Welcome everyone. I have some exciting new plants to share with you. I actually popped into Dobbies Garden Centre the other day and honestly I was amazed at what I found. I found some really cool plants that I just wasn't expecting to find, and they actually had some Hoyas in there too. So the first Hoya that I found is this one, and it was actually the only one left. So I didn't have a huge amount of choice as to which plant I picked, but luckily this one is super healthy. And of course it was just labelled Hoya, so it doesn't actually say what type of Hoya it is. I was doing some research last night on Google to try and find out what it might be, and I'm thinking it's probably Hoya Rangan, because if you look on the leaves they have the sort of the veining on it. And I was looking closely at lots of different Hoyas, and I think it might be the Hoya Rangan. I'm not entirely sure because, as I say, it has no label. So if you think you know what this is and you don't think it is a Hoya Rangan, do let me know, because this is just my best guess at this stage. But yeah, I was kind of just walking around the store and I didn't actually see the Hoyas at first, and I walked around a corner and I saw there was just a couple of small trays with Hoyas in, and I saw this one. It was almost hiding behind some other plants kind of around the way, and it was the only one there. So yeah, I snapped it up, and it didn't work out as that expensive either, because with the Dobbies discount I think it worked out at about £10, which you can't really argue with, can you? I thought that was an amazing deal, and yeah, I definitely was not expecting to run into any Hoyas in there, because they don't tend to have a huge amount of Hoyas and Dobbies. Occasionally you'll see one or two, but they generally don't have that many, so it's not easy to find them. So when I saw this, and with the beautiful splashy variegation on it, I just thought I've got to have that one. And if it is the Hoya Rangan, then I believe it's one of the kind of very basic Hoyas, but to me as a new Hoya collector, it is far from basic. I think it's beautiful, and yeah, was really happy to find this one. But yeah, if you can help me ID this one, if you think it's something else other than the Hoya Rangan, do let me know. But I thought that was a pretty decent sized plant for the price, and it's got beautiful variegation. It's a nice healthy plant. So yeah, I was absolutely delighted to have found this one, and I now have another beautiful Hoya to add to my collection. And then they had kind of a couple of trays. They were about this big, they weren't that big, and there were a few different ones on there. And this next one is one that I have no idea what the idea is, so I definitely need your help with this one. I expect some of you will know what this is straight away. I picked this one in particular because it has some lovely variegation there. Now it does have a few damaged leaves. I believe there's one hanging off here that is probably going to have to go, but yeah, there it goes. I picked this one because it had the best variegation of the plants that were there. It's got some splashy leaves there, and then you can see some of the other leaves are kind of not quite so variegated, but it does have quite a lot of growth points, this one, and it looks quite healthy. Apart from a little bit of mechanical damage here and there, there are a few leaves that are going to come off because they were damaged, but I felt like this was the best one there. None of them were in the best condition. They all had kind of broken leaves, and this was probably the biggest plant, but this one had the best variegation, so that's why I bought this one. And as I say, I have no idea what this is. Again, with the discount it worked out at about £10, so it wasn't expensive, but I kind of saw the potential to have some lovely variegation on there, especially with these leaves here. It's got lovely shiny glossy leaves. But yeah, I'm not sure what type it is, because I did obviously look in Google and try to find out, but there are so many different Hoyas with this sort of look that I got really quite confused quite fast, so I just couldn't work out which one it was. At first I thought maybe Hoya Carnosa Splash, but then I don't know whether the leaves are not quite long enough for that one, so I'm not sure. So yeah, definitely let me know if you know, because I don't really know what this is. I do know that I really like it though. If you look in the middle there, it does actually have some more lovely variegation too. It seems to be a nice healthy plant, and like I say, apart from the fact that there's a few broken leaves, I believe it's just a kind of more of a mechanical damage thing from where it's been treated a bit rough, probably in its journey, but also by people looking in the shop. So there are a few broken leaves, but I thought it was beautiful, and I'll just pop it out of the pot because it's a little bit deep down in the pot, and I think it's not the best pot for it, it's just a temporary pot. But if I take it out, it kind of hangs better and you can get a better look at it. But it's got a beautiful vine there, 2 vines starting to trail, which I think is stunning. And then it's got more vines here, there's another one there, another one here. It's got quite a lot of growth points, and yeah, it is definitely looking quite lush already. And again, with the discount, it worked out at about £10. All the plants that I got in this video, they worked out at around £10 once I got the discount with the loyalty card. But yeah, it just says Hoya, so I don't know what it is. But I do think it's a really healthy plant, and as I say, quite a fair size too for the price. It's nice and full. I just have to trim off those damaged leaves and give it a bit of TLC, bring it back to looking beautiful. But they did have quite a few of these in the shop, and some were bigger than others. Some of them had more vines. Some of them didn't have really any variegation at all. Some of them had just like a few freckles around. So yeah, I don't know what type it is, but I kind of tried to pick the best one that I could. Yeah, it does look to be in pretty good condition overall. So yeah, do let me know what you think this is. I would love to know. The trouble with Hoyas is there are many that look very, very similar, at least to me, but maybe that's because I've only just got into them, but there are some that look fairly similar. And also in different parts of the world, we also have lots of different names for these plants too. So it can be quite hard sometimes and a bit confusing to find out what something's called. But yeah, I'm sure the mystery will be solved at some point. But I'm just really happy to have this beautiful plant, regardless of what it's called really. I just think it is a really stunning, full, healthy plant for the price, and I was so happy to have found this one. With me being on a bit of a Hoya kick at the moment, you know, it's kind of nice to find a few Hoyas here and there, because when I go to, look at those leaves there, aren't they beautiful? Yeah, very often when I go to garden centres, if they do have Hoyas, they only have maybe 1 or 2 here and there. They generally don't tend to have a big selection of Hoyas. I don't really know why this is. So when I do find them, I'm kind of there, I zoom in on them. But yeah, was really happy to find these 2 Hoyas. These are the only 2 Hoyas I got. They did have a couple of others there, but they were all, they were kind of quite similar, and I didn't feel like they were worth getting. These ones to me seemed like the best ones and the ones that attracted me, but I just love how thick and shiny the leaves are on these. They're definitely really tactile plants, Hoyas. You have to give them a bit of a squeeze, feel the leaves. I love the waxiness of them, and yeah. So Hoya something or other. I'm sure you guys are in the comments right now letting me know what this is. It's this, it's that. So hopefully you guys will know straight away and you'll be able to let me know what this is. So there was one other plant that I got. This one isn't a Hoya, but it's very interesting and I've never seen it before. Now it is a Chafllura, but it has some really unique variegation. It's kind of got like a mottled variegation to it. I have never seen a Chafllura with variegation like this, and it's called Chafllura Anna, or Anne, I think. Anne, yes. Anne or Anna, I'm not sure. But I don't know about you, have you ever seen one of these with this type of variegation? I have never seen one like this. So as soon as I saw this, I was utterly amazed because I'm a huge fan of Chaffluras, and to see this variety was just really exciting. And it's kind of growing off to the side too, which I really love. I quite like that about it, the fact that it's kind of leaning over. But yeah, I was even more surprised when I picked it up and I looked at the price, and guess how much it was? It was only £10, so I couldn't believe it, honestly. They did have quite a few of these, so I was able to select a nice healthy one. This one does have more than one growth point. It has a smaller one coming out of the soil there, and then it has this kind of long leany one. And again, I'm not going to try and correct this lean that this plant has, because I really like that about it. I just want it to do its thing. But the mottled variegation on this one, it very much looks like the Syngonium mojito to me. And I'm quite surprised they didn't call it Chafllura mojito, because that's what I would have called it. But yeah, I'd be really curious to know if you've ever seen this one before, this variety. I did do a search on Instagram for this one, and there weren't really that many pictures, so I don't know if this is a new variety that's just come out. Maybe it is, or maybe it's been around for a while and I just haven't ever seen it, but really thrilled to have this one in my collection. I think I have 4 Chaffluras now, different ones. One of you actually asked me, do I still have my variegated one? I do still have it, yeah, it's doing well. But as soon as I see a new Chafllura come out, I'm just there for it. I don't know why I love these plants so much, but I just do. Can you imagine if they brought a pink one of these out? I would definitely be up for that. But yeah, just think it's beautiful. Lovely, lovely kind of mottled, minty variegation, and I can't believe I found it. Yeah, it's probably the most common plant in the world, but to me it seems really interesting and beautiful. So really happy to have added this one to my Chafllura collection. Looking forward to seeing this one grow. I would love to have a nice big tree. My green Chafllura is now starting to turn into a tree, and it's been really exciting to watch it grow over the years. It started off as just this tiny plant, and yeah, it didn't really get going in its first year. It kind of took a couple of years and then it really started to get going. So sometimes they do take a while, so I don't know whether this one will start taking off this year or next year, but that's okay. They are pretty hardy plants, these ones. I find that they generally tend to get through winter really well, and then as soon as spring comes around they start growing, and they're just really easy plants. But yeah, delighted with that. I'm delighted with all the plants that I found, and yeah, they didn't really cost very much either, which is a bonus. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you thought of today's plants, and yeah, I'd love to know an ID on the Hoyas. As I say, I think one of them is the Hoya Rangan, but I'm not 100% on that, and the other one I just don't really know. I thought Hoya Carnosa Splash maybe for this one, or maybe Hoya Carnosa Freckles or something, I don't know. But then I was wondering about the shape of the leaves being different, so I have no idea. I'm really hoping you guys can tell me. I'm sure you can, because you're probably just shouting at your screens, well, it's obviously this. But yeah, new Hoya person here, and whatever it's called though, that's fine. I'm just happy to have this beautiful plant in my collection. I do hope you enjoyed today's video, and yeah, leave me a comment below. Let's have a chat, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.